Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. Alright, today I'm going to read another email for you guys, a question that I got from a subscriber, and try to answer it. And yeah, I'm doing that again today because you guys just keep sending me good emails, so I could keep this up forever. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Alright, let's get to this question. Let me put my glasses on so I can read this. Hey Jason, quick question. I'm a basketball player, 5'9". Yes, I picked the wrong sport. At a high level here in Australia. I'm looking at improving my vertical leap, 1 and 2 foot. I'm also training for muscle gain as more of a hobby, running an upper lower. Is there anything specifically I would need to do to improve my vertical, or should I stick to one goal? Thanks, mate. Alex. Alright, let's get serious now. The thing that you have to remember is that weight training for basketball is really tricky, and it's because basketball players require such a high degree of athleticism compared to a lot of other sports because they require so many different performance elements to be meshed together and balanced. They need overall conditioning and endurance, and they need a high level of it because the games are fairly long. They need tons of agility, but at the same time, they need explosive power, which requires a certain amount of muscle hypertrophy and specific types of training adaptations. And the problem is that if any one of those three things gets pushed too far, it can detrain the other. So it's really tricky trying to balance a program for a high-level basketball player. But my general recommendations, first of all, an upper-lower isn't a bad idea, but you don't want to be doing bodybuilding training. You cannot afford to gain muscle and get slower. If you gain muscle, that muscle needs to make you faster. And what I mean by faster is that you need it to give you explosiveness, speed, and speed strength. You cannot have muscle that is there purely for what you would think of as strength stamina. It's not going to work for you in your sport. It's going to slow you down. All the muscle that you gain, every ounce of muscle that you gain as a basketball player has to increase your speed. It has to give you better bursts of speed across the court. It has to give you a better vertical jump, or it has to give you the ability to throw a basketball faster. So all the muscle you gain has to be geared towards those. So what I might recommend is a basic program for you. Drop a bodybuilding program, but if you want to stay with an upper-lower type program, the athletic trainer Joe DeFranco, and he trains a lot of championship athletes, wrote a program that I think would work pretty well for your goals called Westside Barbell for Skinny Bastards. And again, the writer of that is Joe DeFranco. And I think you might find that very helpful towards those goals because it balances that power and speed strength and starting strength and the things that you need, but it's not going to give you non-functional muscle. It's going to give you all the muscle that you gain on it. It's going to help you towards your goal. So I think that would be a good one. And I would avoid using your weights to build strength stamina. Don't be doing stuff over 5 reps. It's not going to give you the type of performance that you want. Use your conditioning work for conditioning. Use your agility work for agility. And use your weightlifting for the purpose of building power and speed. That's what you want to use it for. So don't mix those elements up. They're very critical for your sport. So you don't want to mix and match them. Don't use the weights for your conditioning or for strength endurance. Let your conditioning work do that. Now, as far as increasing your vertical leap, there's going to be some coaches and trainers who are going to hear this and they're going to disagree with me, but honestly, I don't give a fuck. This is my take on it based upon my experience, my own research, my own observations of athletes. You're going to need 3 things in order to increase your vertical. You're going to need good starting strength out of the bottom. You're going to need speed strength for acceleration, and then you're going to have to find a way to overcome deceleration at the top. And so I'm going to recommend 3 different things to train those 3 elements. First of all, I'm going to recommend, and all of this will fit into that program that I listed. I'm going to recommend doing box squats. And you need those box squats to get your hips more explosive out of the bottom of a jump, and to engage your hamstrings and glutes better out of the very bottom of your jump so that it's not completely quad dominant. So you can get those hips firing harder to get you started for starting strength. Now, I'm going to recommend that for your speed strength, that you do your box squats with bands. You need to invest in some bands rather than chains, and it's because they're going to give you, one, a better stretch reflex out of the bottom, but two, they're going to give you the same speed strength you would get from using chains or something from the speed work. But what they do, bands don't have as much of a deceleration issue at the top, because you don't want to train yourself to slow down as much as you get to the top of a squat. What I want you to do on top of that is do jumping squats. And I mean weighted jumping squats. And you might want to, for safety purposes, do them with something like a safety squat bar. And I'm going to assume you have access to this equipment if you're a high-level basketball player. You're going to have access to this equipment. But jumping squats are going to help you tremendously. And possibly even doing jumping squats with chains on a safety squat bar. And that will help get you past that point of deceleration at the top for your vertical. Now, on top of those three things, I would also recommend that you do box jumps onto plyo boxes, and I would get those to a point to where you can jump up onto a 36-inch box with dumbbells on your shoulders. And as crazy as that sounds, if you can get to a point to where you can get a good vertical and jump up onto a box with extra weight added so that it's more than your body weight, what you're going to find is that you can accelerate and jump so much higher when you pull the weight out and you do just body weight. So I would build up and get on higher and higher boxes, or alternate lower boxes with dumbbells and higher boxes back and forth, and use the plyo boxes and weighted dumbbell jumps onto plyo boxes in order to train the last bit of your vertical leap. So that would be my 4 recommendations for that. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you next time.